audio is set correctly. Let me see if I can get the live stream up here, and then we'll go. 1 second. Just reminded me my battery might be flat. Let's just turn this around now. A little. There we are. There we go. Gotta get into my channel. There, I've got one guest. Here we go. Well, we're live. Let me just get the. Let's try to get the live stream up so I can actually see what's happening. But in the meantime, we'll run with it. I don't know what's happened to the internet this morning. If you can hear me, it'd be good to have a thumbs up. We've got one viewer and one thumbs up. That's absolutely fine, no problem at all. I'm going to go with this morning anyway. Welcome to Saturday Morning Live with Johnny Boy. I'm getting some instructions yet again. There we are. William, how's it going, Will? Ben there. Matt Reynolds from Edinburgh. Good morning. A drizzly Edinburgh, yeah, because in places it's a funny old morning, isn't it? You know, in Newport, we're having thick fog. It's almost like a thick soup. Look, welcome to Saturday Morning Live. I always get a little bit distracted at this point because I always like to welcome people as we join the live stream. And remember, there's going to be people joining all the time. So, and I will just say hi. I get distracted because I'm seeing it. Let's just go with it now. Welcome to Saturday Morning Live. I said it again. If you want to take part, there is a number you can call. I haven't got for some reason, I haven't got there we are, Gareth Williams. Good morning, buddy. How you doing? I can see Gareth there in Manchester. As you join the live stream, if you want to join the live stream this morning, I'm going to put the number on screen so you can actually see it. The number is 07795 595. No, it's not. I've got to get this right. 07795 664 002. There is the number now on screen now that you can call in this morning if you've got anything to say. 07795 664 002. Good morning, Mike Stapleton down there in Payton. How you doing, bud? How you getting on with that decking? Hey, look, it's great to have you. We've really built a community. The watch time on these podcasts is going up. It's increasing, so it's good. Would I like to increase more? Of course I would, but beggars can't be choosers. The audience that we have, the community that we've built on here is exceptional, okay? And we get a great response even after the live stream. Don't forget, mind, when you join the live stream, hit the like button. It's good for the analytics, and also if you can comment. Also, I always try to ask that after the live stream, if you can just go back onto the video and just comment, because it does help with the analytics. 3 likes, 10 viewers. Here we are. The title this morning is Landscaping Industry in Decline. The consumer will suffer. That's what I've put. Is it clickbait? No, it's not. I don't think it is. Dartmouth, mate, not Payton. Sorry, Mike. I stand corrected, mate. I do apologise. Look, had a busy week. Busy beyond for me, and I'm struggling. My labourer decided not to turn up for whatever reason. Never told me. Never said nothing. Just never turned up. Never complained. If he's watching this morning, give us a call. I want to know why you decided to leave at the last minute and without any notice. Great shame. Good worker. Nice lad. And just disappeared. And that's what's happening across the country now, I feel, at the moment. Everywhere you go, it just seems that there's a case of people don't want to work. They don't want to work no more like they used to. There are some that are working out there. Okay, there is a generation that's been brought up in that work ethic, but I'm afraid, and I'm not having to go at the young ones, because some of the young ones are really good. I know lads that across the country are out there at the moment doing the daily grind. Whatever they're doing, they are working hard. But it seems to be the case everywhere I go. I was talking to the local garage where I live, where I take my vans to be serviced. And he tells me that people aren't working no more. He said they just don't want to come in, they don't want to work, they don't want to work on the cars, and they all want to be technicians. He says in his case, they don't necessarily want to get their hands dirty no more. The days of back-breaking work and people who can do that work, I think, is gone. I think it's changing. I think there's a massive change at the moment in the industry, and people, for some reason, they just don't want to have the hard graft no more. It's gone. It's done and dusted. And I think we've talked about this so many times on here, and sad. It really is sad because this industry needs those type of people. We need to inspire the next generation, the youth, to come into this industry and get involved in it because it does pay dividends. And yes, it is hard work, but there's ways within this industry that you can work in a manner that it doesn't take the toll on your body like it has with us. Some of the people of my generation who've been in this industry for a long time, who've never had the education, and we've worked so hard. It's taken a massive impact on us. But with today, with the education that is available through digital media and marketing, we're able to educate and help people in a way. And I'm not saying I'm helping people, but certainly there is digital means to help people to actually progress in a way and in a manner that it's not going to put them in a bad way. There's ways of lifting and carrying things. You don't have to grind it out like you used to. But this is a fantastic industry. Also, the second part of the title is, and the consumer will suffer. And I think it will suffer. The thing is, there are copious amounts of people that are actually going into landscaping, but not necessarily working for other people because they feel that they can do it and they can do it better. Okay. There are lots of people going into this industry on their own back. They're just doing it themselves part time, on the weekend or whatever. Even if they're a fireman or something and they do it, that's their regular job. I had a couple of emails this week where there are people that can work on their time off, 2 weeks on, or 7 days a week, 2 weeks on, and they want to have that third week. They have a third week off. They can go and do a bit of landscaping to make up the money. And I think there are good people in the industry that can actually do this job, but also I feel that there are so many out there that aren't necessarily qualified in the way with experience. I mean, when I talk about qualifications, in experience in actually doing this job. Um, Mike Stephenson, one wants to be a social media star. Not me. I don't want to be a social media star. Mike, Jen, morning, bird. How you going? Good to see you. This is this part. If you're just joining the live stream for the first time, it's at this part that I try to engage with our audience and regular guys as well. Richard Dowd joined us. Alison says, "Good morning, Gareth." There, Bradley Mark. Morning, everyone. Bradley Mark. Good morning to you. Like to know where you're from. Hey, look, when you join the live stream and people that join the live stream now, Mario Rizzi, there he is. There's our Mario, just seen him there. Good to see you, Mario. He's one of our regulars on here. Just let people know, just in the comments, about where you're from and the name of your company. I'm in this morning, or I'm in morning. Steve, I seen this morning. I did beat the horn. I went past. I seen the van outside. Steve, what are you doing this morning? Steve Burrows, a local landscaper, local contractor rather, local to me, and I see Steve the other day and his son Liam. Great people, nice people. They're the sort of people you'd invite into your own. So, Steve, let us know what you're doing this morning. What are you on this morning? Jack Zappa's just morning, Johnny. Good to see you. 19 live viewers. Don't forget, my guys, as you join the live stream, just try and hit the like button. We're going to try and beef this up a little bit now because we've got a few people on here. So what we were talking about this morning, I really feel that the landscaping industry is in decline a little bit at the moment because people aren't necessarily going into it for the right reasons. They're not going into it for a career. They're going into it because they feel that they can make some money. They can make a quick buck. And I think that this is not the best way to go forward because when we think about things, what we got to try and do in life, it's not about chasing the dollar. It's about chasing almost perfection if you can get it. Nothing's perfect in life. There's always going to be acceptable tolerances. And I really feel that the industry is in nosedive at the moment. maybe for a short time. I don't know what your thoughts on it. Let me know. Ben Crombie says, put your money that would be spent on labourers in machinery. Do you know, Ben, that is perfect. And that's what I was going to get on to this morning. I look at many different attachments I can just change in literally 15, 20 minutes on the end of the digger, and it can actually do the job where, if you don't need the labourer, you've got machinery. Automation is the way forward, and there are a few attachments that I've been looking at that I can actually put on my machine to make life a little bit more easier. And for me, Ben, I've been looking at one of those cultivators that will go on the end of the digger to help me prep the ground out as I leave the projects that I'm on. When I start working out with the machine, I've laid the paving, the patio, the picture frame, or the edging brick, whatever you want to call it, and we're on the lawn bit and we're on the dirt side, the dirty side, which I enjoy the dirty side. There you go. And it's part of that we need the help with because it's so labor intense. And do we invest? I've seen an attachment, Ben, that I can actually put on the end of the digger. It's about 1,500, 2,000 pound. It's a cultivator. It works on the hydraulics and it just breaks all the soil up. And as a result of it, we don't have to necessarily take some of that soil away. Even the grass, if we've got dry weather, we can break the grass up, chop it up, and then the grass pulls down, and then the life that you need for underneath the soil to create the good aeration it will start happening. We don't need to get rid of all that grass. And for me, I think this is the way forward. We need to use machinery and automation to make things a little bit more easy for the guys that are in the industry. That was a great point this morning. Steve Burrows, Mary Ritchie says, Greenkeeper Garden Services in Bedford. So if you're a consumer in the Bedford area and you haven't heard of Mario Ritchie, I can vouch for this guy, and he's a cracking, absolutely fantastic guy, and great fun to be with, and he'll definitely, without doubt, give you a quote. Give him a shout. There it is, Greenkeeper Garden Services in Bedford, Mario Ritchie. Ben Crombie, I totally agree with you about automation and machinery. Steve Burrows says, my son is getting married tomorrow and my house is mayhem to come to work to get out of the way. Right, is it really? Steve, I hope at some point, if you want to give me a ring, we want to go and have a pint, or you come and have a can here, mate. We'll have a bottle of beer together here. So congratulations with that, and all the best, Steve. And like I said, I've got something down here for you. So good luck with that, Steve. Congratulations to your son. Don't get too drunk if you can help it. But he's got to work to get out of the way. There we are. That's what's good about this community that we've built here on this group, is that people can come on here, people get to know each other, never met each other before, but they can come on here and they can talk about the things that is going on in their life. This is not just about landscaping, contract, construction, carpentry, brickwork, plumbing, electrical work. It's not just about that. It's about building a community and bringing a community together. We got 13 live viewers. We got 10 likes. Come on, hit the like button. I never ever try to sort of do this podcast and use clickbait to try and pull people in, because it's not about that. Saturday mornings for me with you guys and doing this podcast is important. It's important for me because it ensures that I'm not going to work on a Saturday, because those things have changed for the last couple of years now. I do the podcast to ensure I have this responsibility to you to make sure that I stay here, do the podcast, and I have a rest on a Saturday. And a Saturday afternoon, I tend to crash. But as I said this morning, Steve Burrows, I've actually been into work this morning and I've put the cuts that I made the other day, and I've actually gone in and laid this morning. So that's done now. Jem says, got last week that my quote was double. Got told last week that my quote was double a quote they had been given. After a few questions, the other landscaper was laying straight on earth. The mind boggles. There you are. There you have it. This is what I've been talking about. This is what this title's about. You can see the evidence there. Jem there up in Cheshire, he says, got told last week that my quote was double a quote that had been given. After a few questions, the other landscaper was laying straight on the earth. The mind boggles, he says. Absolutely. It would boggle to me if somebody was going to lay straight on the earth. That's not good at all. And that's what I was talking about. The industry is taking a bit of a nosedive, probably more than anything, really, because we're in adverse times now at the moment. Things are a bit hectic. Things are a bit crazy. Okay, we look at these figures, the inflation rate, and all this, and people working, and what's going on around the world at the moment. But supply and demand is that landscapers are required. People still spending money in their garden, and it's a strange one, isn't it? It's nothing settled at the moment, and that's what we need. We need some calm periods just to bring things down and back to some sort of normality. But they're not. They're not back to normality. And I want to get back to the title at the moment. Okay, the title was "Landscape Industry is in Decline." Well, there you are. There's the proof in the pudding. Jem says they're going to lay it on soil. We need to get people back into the industry, and we've always talked about that. But why are they not going back into the industry? Well, I would suggest that the biggest thing is money. They want money, don't they? They need money to survive because of inflation rates. How much money do you think we should be offering some labourers, some people to come and work for us who fancy being in this industry and they see it as a good career? Okay, how many people? How much money do you think that we should be offering to? Should it be about the money? Should it be about the dollar? Okay, should it be about the dollar to encourage people to come into this industry? I find it hard. I really do. Mike Steele says you get what you pay for. Mike, I see what you mean, but I'm not quite sure about that. You get what you pay for. You know, I would happily pay somebody the right amount of money. I would pay them what they were looking for if they would commit, if they would be able to give me the time, give me the loyalty and the commitment and consistency that you need, okay, that you require to run a decent business. But I really feel that it's not there at the moment. Extra Life says gaming, Extra Life Gaming says another increase coming for cement and aggregates, 10% on a month. I believe that, Bud, and I really appreciate that. Cement is increasing on 10%. Yeah, just go and just check before you buy. Just go and check. I think at the moment, I don't know what you guys think at the moment. I think Travis Perkins is probably. I don't know. I just seem to see things coming back from Travis Perkins where they're a little bit cheaper than other places. Shad says, "Morning, Johnny, absolute legend." Shad, cheers, mate. Thanks very much. I really appreciate it. Good to see you. How you doing? Don't forget mine. Let me get the number up on here this morning. If you want to send me some pictures, that's what I always say. Oh, 7795599594. I think we've got a caller coming in now. Let's have a listen. Hello.
Morning, Johnny. Morning, Johnny. Gareth.
Gareth, how you doing? I didn't expect it. How are you, Gareth?
Oh, I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Listen, can you just say who you are, where you're from, and tell us a little bit more, Gareth, because people want to hear from you.
Yeah, of course. Gareth Williams from Landscape by Gareth, North Manchester. And I hit a nerve today, John, with this topic because I'm in the same boat as you. As previous shows, you may realise that I wasn't going to take anybody on this year, but I did. And he let me down big time this week.
Did he really?
He could. In the 15 years I've been doing it, he could not have let me down more than he did this week.
Tell me a little bit about
any member of staff.
Yeah, sorry, Gary, I'm not interrupting. Can you just, so you've had a member of staff, was he a new member of staff or had he been working?
Yeah, so he's worked with me for 3 weeks. So we call it the golden month.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. And we was finishing a driveway and we was also starting a job. So deliveries come late on Tuesday afternoon, which meant I had to work a couple of hours on Wednesday, but we booked in deliveries for the new job on Wednesday. So Tuesday evening, we finished the job, apart from a couple of snags. I said to Alex, make sure you're at my house by 6 in the morning, buddy. I said, there's a little bonus. I always give my lads a little bonus at the end of every job.
Okay.
So there's a little bonus, and I'll see you in the morning. I'm at my van in the morning. I get a WhatsApp. Not in today, mate. Stomach troubles. So now I've got to finish the job, which I've promised the lady. and I've got deliveries coming on the new job.
And you haven't heard no more of him?
No, yeah, also I got about 10:30 in the morning. I was too mad to even text back Johnny.
I know.
So,
Gag,
10:30 in the morning.
Can I just capture that moment, right, when you've had this golden month, as you call it. He's been in for 3 weeks, and you've paid him as well, I suppose, at that point.
Also, another thing, Johnny, because our industry, we're sort of in a bubble.
Yeah.
And I was in Travis Perkins, which I don't do very often, but I had to pick up a key line curve. So I had to get it from this specific Travis Perkins. And as I went in there was a bloke who I was talking to, who's on the forklift trucks in the yard, and he was telling me what they're on an hour.
Yeah.
And I pay my lads a lot more than what they're on an hour. So I was surprised at that. And then, so he's well paid for a 26-year-old labourer. And yeah, he had his bonus and obviously decided not to come in the next day. But that moment when you get that text, John, it's a heart thinking, you bleeding, you know what.
Yeah, do you feel though, Gareth, at that point? I know you've had that moment. You're going in, everything's going good. You're all to plan, and you know that you've got somebody's coming there to support you, because it's not an easy game to be in. What we do on a regular basis is not easy, is it, Gareth? Right? And then they let you down. They don't turn in, and that sinking feeling. You've got to just make sure that you don't get angry from it, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think experience kicks in, because people have had an instant reply in the past, and it's not good on my end, not professional.
No.
So, I didn't text anything back, which made him start texting me around about 10:30 in the morning. So then I called his bluff and said, "No problem, mate. You can come now. You can come in now. I still need you." So he replied, "My wife just had to go off at dentist, and I've got the baby."
So he was just making excuses, and he hasn't phoned you since.
No, so he was in yesterday. I had to, Johnny. I'm in the situation that most landscapers in this time of year. Too much work now and not enough staff, if that makes sense.
We've got Bradley Mark, who's on the live stream at the moment, and he just said, Gareth, he says, "Seems like I'm the only reliable labourer in the country, but I do get looked after very well." I know, with your nature, you look after everyone, don't you?
Johnny, do you know on the jobs where you finish a job and you've not started a job? So say you finish on Wednesday, you've got a couple of days, and then you start a job on Monday.
Yeah.
So with all my staff, I'll always keep them in work. I don't say, we start on Monday and just pay them for 3 days. You can do stuff in my back garden, you can clean the vans out.
That's me, Gav.
There's always something for them to do.
Yeah.
I always have them in. I know they've got families to provide and pay for. I buy them all the boots, the waterproofs.
Yeah, I'm listening to this, mate, and everything you say is all familiar. You look after him, you take him under your wing. You want to make sure that they get treated just like you would get treated, I suppose.
Well, I'll tell you a big red flag which I've had in the past, John.
Yeah.
So say we're finishing a job and it's on the way home to go and quote for a job. So we finish a job at 4 o'clock, and someone's rang up in that day or the day before, and they want a quote. Now the quote's on the way home for wherever we're dropping off, whoever's working for me at the time, and I'll say, "Do you mind if I just nip in here and give them a quick quote?" And the red flag for me is that I've had in the past is, "Oh, is there any chance you can drop me off first?"
I know. How old was he, Gareth? How old was this lad? How old was he?
26.
26 years of age. Well, it's a poor show, isn't it? If he had a problem, don't you think it should have been, good manners to actually discuss something with you and ask you and tell you that if there was a problem, you'd like to know what the problem was, because you may be able to help him with it, mightn't you?
Oh, of course, his excuse was stomach problems, but come on, at 26, you still come in work.
Yeah. How do you feel now, Gab? Now that's happened, and how do you actually feel about that now? How are you going to deal with it, like in your mindset? and obviously scheduling things in. How are you going to deal with that?
Well, I mean, I was actually speaking to a builder yesterday. He came over and he said, two of my lads did turn up this morning because football was on.
Right.
So I think it's all industries. I think the woke youth of today is just beyond me. You know, they don't need to work there because the government's always going to be there.
Gar, I think you're absolutely right. But the thing I would say, there are some good young people out there. There's some really good ones out, and we're not saying that between us this morning. Nobody's saying that at all. I just think that society, the way it's gone, it has become weak. It has become sort of in this place where we're not familiar with it for us, our generation, you know, and I just don't know what to say. I just think that we've been so far for such a long time in a position where this is what we do. You know, whatever we do, this is what we get on with it. But I'm afraid that at the moment, even some of the people of my generation have actually started to become a little bit weaker in their thought process and their mind and about everything they do on a day-to-day basis, because everybody's worried about offending somebody. Everybody is sort of like don't know what to say. It's like we said, we talk about these silent voters when elections come round, and people don't know what to say about nothing. It's just we should say, without offending people, we should just say what we think. And if we offend somebody, we just simply say, "Hey, I'm sorry. That didn't mean to happen." But we're not talking about that. But we're talking about there's something that fundamentally isn't right, is there, at the moment, Gareth? Is it? There's something that's not right.
No, mate, it's not. On a brighter note, Johnny.
Yeah.
I was offered a very, very, very big job in Crewe, if you know any landscapers in the CW2 area.
Right, okay. Are you thinking about subbing that out?
Well, not subbing it out. They can have the job. I mean, the lady's lovely, but it's just too far for me.
Right, here we go. So if you're watching now, or if you're watching this a little bit later on, contact me or Gareth. Gareth, do you think you could get your name of your business up here in a moment on this live stream, so that if you're looking for any work, Gareth, do you think people out there, do you think some contractors aren't as busy as what they'd like to be?
Yeah, and I think the reason is, Johnny, is the amount of what I would call COVID landscapers what have popped up.
Yeah, it's still here, isn't it, Gareth? They're still here, aren't they?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I know for a fact that I'm losing jobs to people that are not doing a professional job.
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And I know that, and I would put it down to the customers. I would put it down to the fact that 3 years ago, they would have you 3 or 4 people come around and quote for a job. And to me, they would be looking at who could do the job the best for the right amount of money, with the best experience, with the best references. And now I would say it's who can do the job the quickest and the cheapest.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you see Jem's from Gem Landscape from Cheshire? Did you see his response that the customer said that he was twice the amount of another contractor, but that contractor was going to lay the paving on soil?
Yeah, Johnny, the biggest one for me is the artificial grass. The way people are laying that.
Is it bad? Yeah.
I mean, they're putting it on building stands, and they're putting a wooden frame round and stapling it, which is just not fit for purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when we come in and start saying we need to dig down, put MOT in, put granule dust in, put a cement concrete plinth round, put the glue on, you're too far apart with the price from what they've been quoted.
Yeah, absolutely. Gary, listen, I just things aren't just being done right, are they? If a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well. How do you think? Go on, Gary.
I can't hear you, Johnny. Sorry, you broke up there.
Yeah. I'm listening to you now. Sorry, mate. I interrupted you.
No, so I was just going to say, I think it's on the customer as well. With the likes of YouTube and Google, they really should look into stuff before they have people around, I think, and see what actually goes into some things in the garden.
I think you've nailed it there completely. This is what I'm saying. So, that I've done this YouTube now for about 9-10 years. 10 years, I think it is now. and we do these podcasts on a Saturday morning, and it's to help the consumer. Gareth, but by no doubt, there will be consumers be watching this video at some point. What would you say to them? What you just said then? What would you like to say to them in respect of that? You know, what do the consumer need to do?
Well, the perfect consumers for me, before they even rang my phone, would be just to research what it is they want. You know, and it's okay if you don't know what materials to use and they need a bit of guidance that way. But as for, you know, if they want a tier garden and they know they're going to need so much excavation and, you know, they want walls building, etc., etc. Just the amount of stuff what goes in the prep, you know.
Do we as contractors on our social media, do we actually start educating the consumer in our posts, whatever we post about? If we're prolific posters, or if we just share something, do we share occasionally some of the specifications that the consumers should be looking for? Do we, for example, do we put on a post, make sure that your contractor isn't laying the paving on soil? Do we do that? Yeah.
So, yeah, I priced up a job in Unsworth. It was a big job, and the lady was obviously wanting a cheap quote, and I tried to explain to her what goes into it. And I think she was acting like I was trying to give her the big sell.
Yeah.
You know, as if like I was saying, I'm going to do it this way, but others might not.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, listen. Let me just read some of the comments. I'll pick on Steve Burrows there. He says, none of these youngsters want to start at the bottom of the ladder. Great point. And climb to the top, which takes years to gain experience. I think what Steve says there is absolutely perfectly right. I think that, you know, you've got to do the grind. You've got to just do the grunt work before you just can't get straight to the top. They all want to get to the top straight away. Richard Dowd says, the guy that worked with me, Ryan, he's in crew. I don't know what Ryan's doing at the moment. If he's watching this morning, we're looking for a contractor in crew. Bradley Mark says, hi, I already worked 2 jobs. The guy I work for now approached me and offered me a job. I wasn't even looking at the time, but he can come and work for us just by turning up his commitment. Shad says, absolutely, Alison, good workers are hard to find. Pick them up, drop them off lunch, and it's like appreciation is hard to find. Then just one more out on Steve Burrows says, the customer needs to be explained the amount of prep work which has to be done below ground to get the job done correctly. What have you got to say about that, Gareth, what Steve Burrows just said there?
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago you could do that, but now I just think they're going for the cheapest price, John.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, because I've had a lot of people ring me up saying, can you match this price? But then when you try and go through the stuff with them, you know, they've not done any research into what it is actually having done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the realities are it'll set in when things start, and it's not just that, Gar. I think you're right with what you've just picked up on. You know, they are going for the cheapest quote, but I think what happens, I think there's something. Not always, but I think there's something with cheap. It actually tells you that they can't necessarily do the job on the budget as well, and the time as well. It's not just materials, but it's the actual time it takes to do these jobs. These jobs, they take time to do, don't they, Gareth?
100%, John. Yeah. So I quoted 3 weeks for one job for me and a lad, and the woman rang back and said that she's been told it can be done in a week.
Oh, she's been landscaping for years, has she?
Yeah. So you know, how do you compete with that?
Well, I turn around and ask her. I say, well, how long have you been landscaping? And I think the thing is, Gareth, that wouldn't be a rude response. I would say to her, with all due respect, but how long have you been landscaping? And do you find, Gareth, that things take longer than what we originally priced at? Sometimes we don't allow enough time, do we?
Yeah, of course, 100% going over. I mean, you know what deliveries are like.
Yeah, massively.
We're constantly waiting around for deliveries.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gareth, that's the reason sometimes that I will start the preparation process on a job, so we're ahead of the job when we actually. So I don't. when I get to give them a start date, what I try and do is that start date I try to get round before the start date, and in some cases I've actually finished the job before the start date that we've given them.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and that's because you know yourself, you could be on a job, you could have copious amounts. Look at the rain we had the other day, Gareth. You know, it was horrendous, and it stops us in our tracks. Doesn't it absolutely stop us in the track? And then, can I ask you a question, Gareth? When the rain has an adverse effect on our scheduling, are we as contractors entitled to go somewhere else to do a bit of preparation work that isn't going to be affected by the rain?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I do find it, with me only being a two-man band, I don't like to get ahead of myself. I've done that in the past and took on too much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't like to I wouldn't want to rip someone's drive up and then the rain continues for 3 weeks or, 2 weeks, and then you can't do anything.
Yeah, but absolutely. And I agree with that, but in some cases they have areas in gardens which they're not actually using. It doesn't affect them. Yeah, and we can, I think there's no shame to say to a customer, say, look, I can't do nothing for a couple of days. I've got a garden I can dig out, a rear garden, and that should be okay, shouldn't it?
Yeah, on all my quotes, I always put weather depending.
Yeah, absolutely. But the problem is, you see, Gareth, when you post it on social media, your customer will see that you're somewhere else. And I say to them, and I'll say to them, and I've said it in the past, and they said, John, you were somewhere else. I say, of course I was. I was somewhere else. Yeah. Well, why were you there? Well, it was raining at yours. Okay. But I couldn't, what do you want me to do? Do you want me just to sit at home and not do nothing? We need to keep the wheels turning, don't we, Gareth?
Of course we do. Yeah. The mortgage still needs to be paid, the insurance, everything else.
Absolutely. And I think this is something that the consumer, if you're a consumer this morning and watching this, I've got Gareth Williams up in Manchester, and we're talking about lots of things, and people have commented on it this morning about you pay cheap, you pay twice. That's the thing about it, and you will have to pay again. Try and do your due diligence when you're looking for a contractor. Gareth, can you just tell us the name of your business in Manchester and roughly whereabouts in Manchester you are?
Yeah, so I'm in North Manchester, so like Heaton Parkway, Prestwich, Whitefield, Middleton, Alkington. It's Landscapes by Gareth.
Landscapes by Gareth.
I'll tell you a funny story, John. I got a guy last year working for me, bodybuilder, big guy, really interested, ex-paratrooper.
Oh, was he?
And it started to rain one day, so he runs in the van quick, shuts the door. So I went over to him and said, Gary.
A paratrooper jumped in the van?
He jumped in the van, so I said, Gary, I said, is there a problem? So he said, I can't work in the rain, mate. So I said, why? So he said, I've got a show tomorrow. So I said, yeah, you said, yeah. He did bodybuilding shows. He said, yeah, I've got false tan on.
Do listen, Gary, I'll tell you this, right? 17 years of age, in January the 24th, 1983, I joined the parachute regiment, right? And I tell you now, the rain's never bothered me. I've always got it. Now, I can't believe he's a paratrooper. And if he's listening this morning...
he was an experienced landscaper as well on his TV, John.
Gary, listen, mate. Honest, I'm blown away that you've actually called in this morning, and it's great. It doesn't matter how many people we have on this live stream this morning. People are going to watch it later. All it tells me about you, Gareth, is that you're a person that cares. You want to be part of a community, share your experiences, and try and help other people. So thank you for joining this morning. What's your plans the weekend, Gareth? Because it's a bank holiday, my friend.
Yeah, well, I didn't even realise that neither until Thursday.
Gareth, you're exactly like me. And just to let you know, right, it was Alison and myself. It was our anniversary on the 27th, and as per usual,
brilliant.
Yeah, but as per usual, we forgot all about it. But just to tell you a funny story, Gareth, I actually, with my back in half, I could hardly walk. I had cement in my hair. I looked like Ken Dodd. I had cement all over me. I had my boots on, soaking wet. I still marched into Tesco's, bought her a card, and bought her a bunch of flowers.
Brilliant.
But she never bought me nothing. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I wanted all do the job. I mean, I've been with my wife since school, so.
Yeah. Well, look, Gareth, thanks for joining this morning. I do want to keep you because I really appreciate it, and I think we could talk here for ages. And like I said, at some point in the future, I'll come and spend a day with you and get on the daily grind and get on that show.
100%, John. 100%.
All right. Love you, brother. You take care. Have a great weekend.
Take care. Bye-bye. Have a last week.
There you are, Gareth. What a cracking guy. And he keeps in touch with me on a regular basis, all sharing his experiences with me. And we talk. He's such a decent guy. And he made some valid points there, about, he talked about labourers not turning up and all the other stuff. And, consumers basically not understanding. Do we have an obligation, a moral obligation, to try and help our potential client base by using our social media, this digital media that we have access to, that is available to us? Can we put that message out there so we can start educating the consumer of what to look for, product knowledge, how we go about things, things how to choose a contractor? Okay, I think that we can. I think that we can help them. I think we can improve the industry if we really want to by using those social media platforms. And hopefully it would help those consumers so they can actually start thinking, why are they getting a cheaper quote? That's so cheap. As Jem says, he was twice the price, but the other guy was going to, or girl, whoever, he, she, whatever, I don't know, was going to lay it on soil. Not good at all. Let's read some of the comments there now again, because Steve Burrows says our next customer has been waiting 8 months, but they know when we are there, we are committed to that job and it will be done right. Joe, Steve, that takes years to get to that point. For where you are now, to how you've matured as a business and put yourself in that position, it just takes a long time. And I think that, that your confidence must be through the roof when you actually know that you've got that sort of work coming in. Shad says, I can't work in the rain. Heard that too many times. I can't do work in the rain. Shad, I always forget where you're from, mate. Just let us know where you're from. I can't work in the rain. I've heard that too many times. Alison says, I won't read that. Steve Burrows, same here. Some of our clients can't wait up to a year before we get to them, but they are prepared to wait and have faith. And that's the thing, you see, there are consumers out there that are very smart and very astute people, where they know that if you want something good that's going to last and have some longevity, you need to use the right contractor. And if it means waiting, that they have to wait. And I think they know that people don't want to work no more. They realise there are consumers out there. Let's not slate the consumer this morning, because we're trying to help them. And I really believe that there are consumers out there that do know that we need time. We are struggling with labour. They know the situation. They just need to be kept informed and well informed of what goes on. Ali says, hi, Johnny, boy, very good videos. You are doing a great job and having fun making some brilliant videos, superstar. Ali, Warsaw, West Midlands, England, Junction 10, M6, Warsaw. Thank you, Ali, for that. Really appreciate it. Happy bank holiday to you, if there is one. Martin Smith says, good morning, Johnny. Bit late joining today, but just wanted to show support, listen and learn. Martin, those words are really, really appreciated. It just goes to show that people care about this channel and they're on here to support me and you guys. Don't forget, remember, I'm going to get the number up here. So I want you to send me some pictures this morning of what you're doing. Let's have a look if I can just get that on there now. I want you 07795 595 994. What we do at this point, I always ask people to send me some pictures of what you've been doing this week or what you're going to do, where you are. Send them in, WhatsApp me. It's 07795 595 994. I want to see what you're doing. Shad says, based in London, Maida Vale. I remember now, Shad. Do you know, mate, it's so good to have you on here, and just keep reminding me, because we get so many callers, we get so many messages on this channel. Not initially at the start, but as the week goes on, they start coming in because people watch this live stream a little bit later. Alison says a favourite consumer question: when they are told we are fully booked, can you recommend a landscaper who can start next week? Don't they ever learn? That's amazing. That's actually true. I just got to listen to it because Alison deals with this side of things all the time now. I don't deal with it so much. A favourite consumer question is when they are told we are fully booked, can you recommend a landscaper who can start next week? Shouldn't they know and shouldn't they realise that if somebody can start, I know it happens sometimes that there are good landscapers that can actually fit people in, but it's not a good thing, is it? To even think that, can you recommend a landscaper that can start next week? I wouldn't recommend anybody if they could start next week. Alison says, good morning, Martin Smith. It's been a fascinating podcast this morning because we're still building this channel, and the numbers is going up week by week. We don't necessarily have lots on the live stream initially, but it does build up. I never want to put a title and clickbait where I'm pulling people in just to frighten people and explain things, and just pull them in just to frighten people, because that's not the reaction I want. I want to be able to get people to engage with this podcast and learn from it and benefit from it, for consumer and contractor. I want everybody to benefit in the right way. Just to let you all know, if you're joining this morning, I have actually gone in and done some work this morning simply because I had to. I had to not necessarily falling behind, but I want to actually show my customer that I do care about them and what I'm doing. My back was actually in half this week. Okay, it wasn't good at all. I decided the other day you shouldn't do this. You get somebody to help you. That's why I think we talked about. I think Ben talked about automation and getting machinery to help you to do the job. And I should get a robot to help me to pick that whacker plate, or the compactor plate in the back of the van, because that was really, really heavy. Didn't do me very good. Next day, I went in there to pick up a jerry can full of diesel, 5 gallons, and I didn't realise it was full, and I twisted my back. So all week I've had a bad back. But I wasn't so bad this morning, not bad at all. As says, Mario says, online price inquiries for landscapers are quite accurate. Online price inquiries for landscapers are quite accurate. What's that about then, Mario? Can you explain that a little bit more? Martin Smith says, as a DIYer, I find podcasts and videos are fantastic resource. Well, they are. I think, Martin, what's your opinion? Do you really feel that people will benefit from these podcasts? Because I think they will. And I think that, I think the more we do them, I think if we make them a little bit more engaging and have where the studio is done, we got some fantastic lighting this morning. I don't know what the lighting is what you think and what the audio is like for you guys this morning, but we've got some different lighting. The studio is on its way. It is happening. It just takes so much time. I'm doing my own garden as well at the moment, so there is never an hour in the day that will be lost in this house. We've always got something to do. Martin Smith, I really appreciate it. I think so. It's giving me good. Thank you. Martin, really, really appreciate it. Martin, whereabouts are you from across the country? Don't forget mine, guys. Send me some pictures. The number is 07795 595 994. I want to know what you're doing, where you are. Martin Smith says, lots more confidence in landscapers as an industry after bad experiences. Do you feel then, Martin, that this live the live podcast actually helps because it enables people to respond straight away without actually waiting and thinking about it. And people can actually share things and talk to things live on air and listen to what other people ask to say. Martin says, sunny Bolton up north. Yeah, that's good people up north. Absolutely fantastic. Martin, we really appreciate you taking time to actually join this live stream, and everyone else, honest, from the bottom of our heart, we would never, ever let anybody down. Even if I'm away in the future, if I'm on holiday, and I've done it before, I will always do a live stream Saturday morning if I can. If it's possible, I will do it. Ali says, hi, Johnny, boy, this live chat is brilliant, and keep it up. The live streaming is something different. I think it is. We're having some pictures coming in this morning. Look, it doesn't matter where you're from. I'm going to appeal to our viewers this morning. I'm going to get the number up again because This is not about me, and it's not about my ego. It's to help people and put people in contact, and people can learn from it. I'm going to put my number up again: 077 954. There is my number. Please, please send me some. Not begging. I'm just asking. I'd love to see what you're doing, where you're from. Life is short, and I want to meet as many people as possible, believe it or not, and talk to people so I can learn. And this is how I learn on this channel from you guys, and I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, as I said this morning, it's like thick soup fog when I got up this morning, only in places. But it looks like it's clearer now. We've got my own garden to do. We've taken an old clematis montana. It had it. If anybody got any advice on clematis montanas, I want to hear off you. I've come down to the bottom. I know that they'll come again, but we've had to move it. We have to be really mercenary in our garden. We've got an Acer palmatum dissectum, Atropurpurea, the purple Acer, like those Japanese Acer dissectum with a dissected leaf. It's quite a mature plant. I think it was about 4 years old when we got it, and we've had it for about 27 years now. So it's over 30 years old, and it's got a nice rootstock. So we're going to see if we can move it. Yeah, we're going to see. Quite dangerous, but unfortunately, that's where we are at the moment. It has to be moved. We took a pittosporum down in the garden, and we've burnt that. That's gone. It was a quick burn. It went quickly, and just save taking all away. And the expense. That's the other thing. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. The expense of waste disposal is going through the roof, and our local council want us to recycle more and more. You're not allowed to take any extra bin bags. Any of you guys across the country have bins that have been reduced in size, and as a result, you've got to make trips to the tip and the council tip. And when you get down there, they tell you now that you can't take any bags. It's so annoying. Shad says you should move it before it goes in leaf. More safe, John. I know, but we just left it a little bit late, Shad. I moved another Acer in November, October time, I think it was, and that's absolutely fine. But we're going to have to move this. We're going to have to repot it up. It'll be fine. We'll keep some earth around it. Get it. We've got a massive, huge pot, probably just over 1 meter wide. We're going to get it in there. So there we are. And I'll let you know and show you how it turns out. I'll do a post on the community post at some point. Mario Rich says all employees are related. Sons, uncles, brothers, in-law. Wouldn't have it any other way. It's a family-run business. That must be an Italian thing out there. Yeah, absolutely. I know Steve Burrows, young Liam works with his dad. My brother, Mike, his son works within Dean over there on the east part of the country. And they work with each other on a regular basis. Sometimes not so successful because, like father and son, we're all alike. And I was talking to Steve Burrows about that. But my own son worked with me as well at one time. And my daughter has come along and helped, and Alison as well. We're a family-run business with a business with a family attitude. Shad says, sounds like a lovely tree. Show us some photos. We will. We'll get it on there. You'll be able to have a look. It is a fantastic tree. You've had it a long time. So, listen, I think that's it. We're on the 54 minutes. We've nearly done an hour. It's not a trial getting through this live stream. I do enjoy it, but I am conscious of the fact that people have got things to do. We try and keep it to an hour. Don't forget to send me some pictures. 07795 595 994. It'd be great when we're able to film eventually in that studio, but Alice and I, we work so hard anyway, like a lot of you guys, like a lot of family. It's not just the people that are out there landscaping or contractors. It's the wives behind the scene as well that help to support the business. Without them, sometimes these businesses wouldn't survive. So just when you finish, get off this live stream now. Go and give your wife a kiss. Go and buy her a present, whatever they're doing, and tell me, is your wife involved in the business? I'd like to know a little bit more about it. Got some more notifications coming in there at the moment. Nick said, Mary Richard says, Nick, since your advice, my cherry trees are doing great. Absolutely fantastic. Have a lovely bank holiday weekend, everybody. Hopefully we can have some sunshine with a bit of luck. It's still cold at the moment. That's it. the live stream is over. I'm declaring that now because I am absolutely done. I was up early this morning. Every day this week, I was up awake at 4 o'clock this morning, every morning. So gonna have a cup of tea, gonna sit down, maybe nod off for 5 minutes, cat napping. I need it. I need it. Thanks for joining. Be safe, whatever you're doing, and just do it well. Have a great weekend. See you soon. Cheers, Steve. I got something over here for you. Let's have a can. Take care. See you, Shads. Be lucky, brother.